Hi everyone, welcome to my channel or welcome back. This is Jackie with Jagco Yoga, and we're going to be doing some yoga basics today. What we are going to be thinking about, what we're going to be doing in this practice is we are going to be looking at the transition that we often refer to as a connecting vinyasa in our traditional yoga classes. So what I typically cue and what I would like you all to hear whenever I say a connecting vinyasa, the interpretation is we are entering into down dog. There are many different ways. The traditional one that I typically cue will be the cobra connecting vinyasa, but we will look at all of our options today. Also, too, before we get started, a quick notification of my furry assistant yoga teacher over here. I like to point him out because he will make his presence known throughout class. But let's go ahead and get into it. Starting today, let's just go ahead and find a comfortable seated position. Hands can be wherever they're comfortable, hands at heart center, pressing into palm, resting in lap, or just wherever they're comfortable. Go ahead and find a point of unmoving energy and give yourself an opportunity to check in with what your intention is today, the shift from I want to I intend, and give yourself at least 3 big breaths as we enter into that space. All right, go ahead, bring a little bit of focus back into your eyes, back into this energy, back into this focus. As we begin to find just a little bit of movement, maybe shrug your shoulders, wag your hips side to side, and we are going to be entering into a tabletop position. So sweeping legs around, curling over ankles, rolling over, whatever that means. As mentioned, my furry assistant teacher is here to help us out. But finding this comfortable tabletop position, what that means is hands are directly underneath shoulders, knees are directly underneath hips. From this tabletop position, we are actually going to be entering into our first connecting vinyasa. Essentially, what this means is we're entering into down dog yet again. So you can find some organic movements. You can give yourself a little tail wag. This is also a great option for moms to be that might have a little bit of extra belly, extra baby getting in the way. You can go ahead and curl your toes under, walk your palms forward, palm width distance, and engage through that core space. Lift those hips high and back and enter into our down dog space. This is our first option. Again, connecting vinyasa is just getting into down dog. So we have arrived. Go ahead, curl forward, coming back into our tabletop position. Hands walk back slightly. Now, finding a little bit of breath to body movement, a little bit of breath to body connection. What this means is we're going to begin to kick up some heat. We can find some energy here. On your inhale breath, you're going to drop your belly, lift your gaze, let it go high into our cow variation. And then as you exhale, you're going to press that mat away, coil the belly up and in, curling through the spine. Connecting this 2 to 3 more times. Inhale, drop your belly, lift your gaze. Exhale, press it away. Do one more. Inhale, drop your belly, lift your gaze. This is another great option for moms to be or people who are feeling a little bit fatigued. Exhale, press it through. Coming back to that neutral tabletop, engaging both front and back side of our body. Walk those palms forward, curl your toes under if they're not there already, and use that core to engage, pressing up and back into our downward facing dog. Big breath here. Inhale into those hips. Exhale, soften through something. Coming back, rolling through to our tabletop position as we begin to enter into some more energy using transitions. These are not necessarily more difficult, more easy. They just do require a little bit more energy. So starting in our tabletop position, we're going to walk our palms forward, palm width distance, and we're going to step our legs back, finding our nice strong plank pose. We're pressing the mat away. We're puffing up through the back of our heart space. We're engaging our quads. We're engaging our belly, our glutes. We're really finding the strength in this one line of energy. Feel a ribbon pulling your crown forward. At the same time, pressing those heels back. Big inhale breath here. And then on our exhale, we're going to drop to knees, let elbows graze our ribs, come all the way down to belly. From this space, we're going to press the tops of our toes in. So uncurl those toes, press the tops of the toes in, but keep those legs nice and engaged. Feel those quads engaged to pull the knees up off the earth. And then on an inhale breath, we're going to find a cobra. This is traditionally what I cue. Inhale breath pulls that heart up and through. And then we exhale, release. Forehead can come towards the mat or all the way to mat. Curl your toes back under, and then we're going to press it up through knees again, but one line of energy still. And then engage that core to pull those hips back and through, downward facing dog. Big reset breath here. Inhale into your hips. Exhale, soften through something into that intention. On your inhale breath, we're going to coil it forward yet again. This time though, we're arriving in our plank pose. So find that connection. Find that nice strong line of energy engaging through quads, glutes, belly, puff up the back of the heart space. Grip your mat with your fingertips so we're not dumping into our wrists. We're pressing it away. So we're staying engaged in our plank posture this time. Big inhale breath, feel that crown reaching forward, heels reaching back. And then as you exhale, we're going to come all the way to belly from plank. Elbows still graze those ribs. Now back into our traditional cobra flow. Uncurl those toes, press the toes down into the mat. Engage your quads. Feel that low back engage. Inhale, breath, pull that heart up and through. Exhale, release that forehead towards the mat. And then on this inhale breath, we're going to stay engaged. Press it up through that plank pose, and then pull that belly up and in to let those hips travel high and back into our downward facing dog. Big inhale breath into our hips. Exhale, soften. One final variation into our connecting vinyasas. On our inhale breath, we're going to come high onto our tippy toes, coil it forward into that plank posture yet again. Feel that nice, strong engagement. And then as we exhale, we're only going to come down halfway. So our elbows are going to come right next to our ribs. We're going to stay hovering. We're going to curl our toes under. And on an inhale breath, we're going to pull our heart up and through into our up dog. Big thing here, we're not sinking into our shoulders. We're staying nice and lifted. Legs are off the earth. We feel this engagement. And then as you exhale, pull that booty up and back. Use that core. Curl over those toes and exhale. Return to our downward facing dog. Big reset breath here. As you exhale, let your heels drop towards the earth. And then find your way back into our seated posture towards the top of your mat. Hands return down to your variation, wherever feels right for you. And we're going to take 3 big breaths back into that intention, back into that space of connection. The shift from I want into I intend. Let that gaze go soft. Maybe peripherals go fuzzy, letting yourself return back to neutrality. Bring those hands together at heart center. And please know that the inner teacher and light within me appreciates you going through these yoga basics with me today and still recognizes the inner teacher and light within you. One way we say this is to bow our heads and say, Namaste. Thank you so much for practicing through that with me. The biggest reason that I wanted to give you these options for connecting vinyasas including cat-cow, arriving straight from our tabletop position, traveling through knees down cobra, through plank cobra, and then into our up dog variations, is that these are all available for you, and you can also plug and play. You can change it up throughout class, or you can try different variations. I often say boogie it out and find the variation that's right for you. But essentially what I would like you to hear is anytime I cue connecting vinyasa in our traditional classes, you find your way into downward facing dog, whatever variation that means for you. Again, this is Jackie with Jagco Yoga. I so appreciate you joining me today. If you liked it, please give me a thumbs up. If you would like some more awesome yoga content, basics, 30 to 45-minute resets, or full 60-minute classes, consider subscribing so you can be up to date with all of the things that this channel has to offer. Have a great rest of your day. Namaste.